Welcome to the ACSA Campus Tour, where every week we take you to another part of the state and talk with a school administrator about the successes and challenges they are experiencing in their school community. Joining us today is Buck Roggeman, the principal from Forest Grove Elementary School in the Pacific Grove Unified School District. Buck, thanks so much for being with us today.
I am happy to be here, Nosh. Thanks for having me.
So school's been open now for a few weeks. Let's talk successes and challenges that you and your staff have experienced up to this point. And specifically for those challenges, were they challenges that you expected to have as you moved through these first few weeks of school?
You know what, Naj? I think that we expected to have the challenges that we're facing. I think what was a little unexpected is the intensity of the challenge. We knew that this would be difficult for our working parents. I think that when we actually put the distance learning into action, we learned just how difficult it was going to be. That we have those parents that are, trying to help teach their children in our live instruction during the morning hours from 9 to noon. And then they're starting a shift at the hospital at 12:30, getting off at like 11 or 12 at night, and then waking up and doing it all over again. And for those families, it's really been a difficult row to hoe for them. And from our end, I think that we knew that there would be some technical challenges, but I think that anyone that's worked with any of the video platforms has noticed that things don't always go right. And I think what's been hard is for staff to be going along, teaching a lesson, and then just to get interrupted and stopped cold. And it's one thing if you're teaching juniors in high school, but when you got a group of first graders trying to bring them back after your instruction has been stopped in its tracks, that is really hard.
Well, that brings me to my next question, because leading in an elementary school is unique because you have students that are getting their first experience in learning, and you have other students that are getting that last taste of learning before they move to middle school. So because you have those two unique groups and everybody in between, how do you go about replicating that on-campus experience when you're doing distance learning?
Well, I think one of the things that our teachers has done is that they have kept class as much like class as they possibly can. I think it's a challenge for the kindergartners because we usually spend the first 6 to 8 weeks teaching them what school is all about. I can remember one of the first weeks that I was the principal here, I went down to talk to the kindergarten class and I explained to them that I'm, Mr. Roggeman, and I'm the principal of the school. And then I went on my little spiel about introducing myself. And one of the little girls in the front row raised her hand and said, "What is a principal?" And so I think that one of the things that we don't remember is that when they come to school, they really have to be taught school, how to stand in line, how to sit down and eat their lunch, like what games they're able to play at lunch and what games they aren't. And so our teachers have been doing a fantastic job of the in-class portion of that, still teaching our students how to read the letters that the sounds make. They're going to start blending soon. So all of those kinds of things are getting off the ground and running. What is a little bit more of a challenge are those social aspects of going to school. In terms of the fifth graders, I think that what is going to be the greatest challenge for us is going to be the end of the year. I think we're all hopeful that we are going to be able to go face to face by the end of the year. But those kind of cultural celebrations that we have in place at our school, we have one called Falcon Fest, which is like a big fair that we have the Friday before school gets out. And then we have a nice little ceremony for our fifth graders. It's nothing major, right? It's just an opportunity for us to recognize each of the students and have a little bit of pizza at lunchtime. But those are the kinds of things that we really want to see happen for the fifth grade students, to give them kind of a sense of normalcy at the end of our school year.
Now, you talk a lot about just kind of shifting responsibilities, and that brings in social emotional wellness, because you have parents and guardians that are taking on a larger role in educating the students. You have teachers and staff that are having to evolve and pivot. And then, of course, for yourself. So what are some of your best practices for social emotional wellness and outreach to your school community and for yourself?
Well, starting out with our school, I think that some of the things that we do is that we've got a social emotional learning program that's called the Toolbox. And there's 12 different tools that we talk to our students that they can use to help with their interpersonal relationships. I got the poster on my wall that's right next to me, but we have things like, the breathing tool, the listening tool, a quiet, safe space tool, empathy tool, a garbage can tool, which has become an important one. The garbage can tool is great because what you do is you try to figure out if something's a big deal or if it's a little deal. And if it's a little deal, you take it and you throw it away in the garbage can. And those are some really important kinds of things that we have to have ready to go for our students. And what's great is that as our staff teaches our students to use those tools, I think that what they realize is that all of these tools are great for adults as well. As far as personally, like what I've been doing is when I'm away from work, I am truly trying to be away from work so that even if it winds up being, about a 36 to 48 hour break from school over the weekend, I try my very best to give myself at least one complete day away and where I could be present for my wife and my daughter, and then do the kinds of things that make me feel good about myself, whether it's exercise or get some work done around the house, do those kinds of positive things that we can do to help ourselves move forward and stay sane during what can be a little bit of a crazy time.
Buck, I'm going to ask you a fourth question because I've known you for a number of years and you're always such a positive and upbeat guy. You're such a cheerleader for your school community. And you mentioned hope. You're hoping that you'll be able to have the students back, face to face with their teachers. As you work with your school community, with your teachers and staff, is there a message of hope that you have? Do you feel like you're able to conduct, kind of a very hopeful atmosphere for everybody? And is there something that you would tell them moving forward about building positivity and having that hope?
Naj, there are so many positive things that are going on right now. And I think that that's what I try to do is to draw on the positive that we experience during the moment. Right now, the partnership between schools and parents is tighter than it has ever been because we're relying on the parents and the parents are relying on us. I think we always have, but now it's really present. And it's in the moment as we're trying to teach and learn, and the parents are doing the same thing on the other end. We are truly locking arms and trying to bring our school forward and teach our children in one of the most challenging times that you could possibly imagine. And then I think the other thing, too, that is very positive is that our attendance rate to the live instruction that we've been doing has been outstanding. The state just came out with the guidelines for student engagement and how we're going to report that out. But our attendance to our live instruction right now is running around 98 or 99%. So in a school of 400 students, on any day, we are averaging only about 4 to 8 of them being absent from the teaching and learning that is going on in our class. And boy, Naj, if that doesn't give you hope that people will do whatever it takes to get an education in this state, then I don't know what will. That we're going to get this done, and no, it isn't going to be easy. Yes, it's going to be hard, and yes, there's times when we're going to feel like we're knocked down flat on the mat. But one thing I know about us in the state, the educators, the teachers, the parents, the students, is we're going to pull ourselves off that mat and get up and keep on learning.
Buck Roggeman, the principal at Forest Grove Elementary School in the Pacific Grove Unified School District. Buck, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Naj. It was a pleasure.
And thank you, folks, for being with us as well here on the ACSA Campus Tour. Remember, every week we take you to another part of the state, talk with a school leader about the successes and challenges in their school community. That comes your way every week here on the ACSA Campus Tour.